Welcome to All Out 2021. Here it is, guys. All Out 2021, and let's make this clear. I'm just going to say this right now. Did this show move the needle? Just what my title says. And I'm going to say it simply, yes. But there's a caveat. And here's a caveat. It was going to move the needle no matter what. But due to the fact that they had no choice but to move things up due to the pandemic problem, yes, this show moved the needle. But was it a good, great, outstanding show? No, it wasn't. It was a good show. No lie about that. But there was so much content, it didn't flow right. Even though it moves the needle, it didn't flow right. And this could have been an A show or an A plus show, and it's not. It's a B. Doesn't mean that's bad. It's a B show. That's it. So let's get into this. And I'm going to say this right now. There's a very good possibility. I'm not going to use many pictures. I'm saying picture camera. No, wait, I put images in here. I might not use that many because I got over 100 images. There's a lot. And it's hard to pick from all of them because I try to take as much as I could. So, if you saw my prediction, you will say, dude, you got most of that show right. But the card positioning, you got wrong. Yes, I did get the card positioning wrong. No lie, I got it wrong. But, doesn't mean I didn't do at least a okay job in my prediction. It's not what I do often. This is like the first time in 4 years, I think. So I might be out of practice or I just suck. You guys tell me below. Let's get to buy-in. We only have one match on buy-in, which I was surprised. I thought they were going to do two, but they only did one. And that was a 10-man tag, which was a Hardy Brand versus Best Friends in Jurassic Express. I'm not really going to cover much here. The only thing that mattered was they really want to make sure Matt Hardy is truly hating and despising Orange Cassidy. And that's what this was all about. Orange Cassidy being hated and despised by Matt Hardy to the point where he stayed in the ring after the match was over because the faces won. We know it. But what happened exactly? It made no sense for him to stay out there that long because you noticed that it was like they didn't know what they were doing. It was like they were trying to figure out what they were doing while the show was going on. And it didn't make any sense until Matt Hardy came back out and started fighting them, and that was it. They really want to make sure Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy is presented. I'm not saying it's great, but that's what you get. Next, Dan Lambert had his moment with the Men of the Year and 3 of his UFC fighters. Now, that's a good thing. Seeing Dan Lambert working with how can I say this? They need to actually have him go to the ring with the Men of the Year. He must be their manager. I understand they're trying to set something up, maybe a full gear for the MMA and UFC fighters, but he needs to come to the ring with them and be a manager. I'm just saying. Main card. The first one, like I said, the TNT title. Miro versus Eddie Kingston. Now, there was no CJ. My guess is that her non-compete clause is still valid, so she can't do anything. I did say there was a possibility, or it should be a possibility. So she wasn't there. Fine. Was this a good startup match? Yes, it was. The crowd was hot for Eddie. As I said, I didn't expect Miro to lose here. But Eddie has been steadily rising in the company and people love him. So I wanted him to win, but I knew he wasn't. And it was a nut shot that got him done because Miro ripped off one of the turnbuckles. The ref was trying to keep them from crashing into the turnbuckle because he saw Miro what he was going to do. And Miro used that moment to nut shot at Eddie and then get the pin. I'm not too surprised. This is going to perpetuate their feud because now you can see Eddie has a valid reason not to give up on the TNT title. And hopefully when they go to Full Gear, because it's supposed to be in November, that is a couple of months away, maybe they'll have it built up by then. I don't know if it's going to take to keep that feud going on that long, but that's what I'm hoping for. Now, Kojima versus Moxley. Now, this was an interesting match. Moxley ripped open his left elbow. You'd be able to see it in my face. I believe I got a shot of it. It just started bleeding. And it wasn't a bad match. Kojima, I think he's in his mid-50s. He's 50, 51 years old. I think, no, not mid-50s, early 50s. Maybe he's around my age, 50 or 51 or 48. I can't remember how old he is. But he still could go in the ring. He's not that bad. He was all right in Impact, and he's all right here. He didn't win. I was kind of hoping if he signed with AEW that we would get something from Kojima. I want to see more of Kojima unless I go and watch New Japan Strong, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. Haven't seen it yet. I've had no time to see it. So like I said, you guys want me to do a review of it? If I have the time, I will do one. But here's where it gets interesting. Minoru. I believe that's his name. Sasaki. Oh, what is it? Sakura or Saki? Minoru Sasaki. The legend from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe All Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not sure where, because I've never seen him before, except that one time at Resurgence, he did show up. And in this situation, Moxley was shocked. He knows him, and they just had a fight. And now, Miroju. I'm mispronouncing his name. Miroja or Miroju. I'm mispronouncing it. I'm botching it. There's going to be a match next week. Well, not next week. This week. There's going to be a match on this Dynamite. It'll be interesting to see where they're going to go with this. Because maybe since Moxley's not going for the main title, he will be facing a lot of Japanese wrestlers, which will be interesting. It will be interesting to see Moxley facing Japanese wrestlers. And eventually head right back to Lance Archer because he does have the U.S. title, the IWGP U.S. title. Let him go for a whole bunch of Japanese wrestlers until he meets up again with Lance Archer to go after the U.S. title. And that's nothing wrong with that. But counting if Moxley goes over to New Japan, they better show some footage of the regular show, not the pay-per-view, or I will get pissed and I'll say fuck AEW and fuck New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's move on. We got the match I believe should have been on another pay-per-view because it felt like it was just buried. For me personally, and understand, I'm not a Statlando fan per se. I don't hate her. But here, she couldn't shine the way she should. Due to the fact this card was so overpacked. Many people are going to say this card was incredible. There was so much here. Everyone enjoyed it. No. The problem with this show, and this is one of the major issues due to the fact of the pandemic and possibly due to the fact of restrictions possibly going back in most parts of the country, was there was no time to absorb what happened. We went from one match to another match to another match to another match. There was just too many matches and they couldn't give a pause for people to really absorb what happened. Now, mind you, there are points in a pay-per-view where it's all right to go from one match to another to another. It will give a nice shock. But the entire show was a shock. There was no time to really absorb it. Now, I don't know if any of the other reviewers are going to say some of the other podcasters, they will kiss the ass of AEW. I'm not doing that. I'm telling the truth. There was just too many matches. And this is one of the matches that could have been saved for another show. Could have been saved for Full Gear in November. I know that's a long time to wait for Britt Baker, but in this situation, she needed it on her own. I'm just being honest. And on top of that, the problem with Statlander was that they never promoted her. They never done anything with her. With Dark, people don't see much. Elevation, people don't see much. Dynamite, they barely showed anything of her unless she had Orange Cassidy with her. I didn't really care that much about her. It's not about her match quality. It's okay. But I want to know the damn character of a Statlander. And I can't. I'm not surprised a bit one here. Let's move on. Now, the steel cage match. This is number 4. I don't know if I said the steel cage was number 4 or number 5. I think it might have been number 5, I think. Steel cage match. Lucha Brothers versus the Bucks. This was one of the best matches of the show. For me personally, I like steel cage matches when they're done properly. Now, mind you, doing crash test dummy wrestling isn't always for everyone, and they're going to call it that. The Slag Daddy's going to call it the flips and the kicks and the crash test dummy stuff. And Alex, maybe JD are going to say the incredible high spots, the great spots. I got to go for what it was. It was trying to tell a story of the Lucha Brothers who have been there for a while, had not gotten the titles, and the Bucks and the Elite who have been unstoppable because they either been outperforming everybody or they've been cheating to win with the Good Brothers and Kenny by their side. That is how they've been going. Either they managed to beat anybody or the Good Brothers or Kenny's been saving their ass. So here, no one could come down to the ring, and they actually started kissing one another when they were about to go in the ring. That was something I didn't think the Bucks would do. I didn't think they'd do that. That's what FTR does. And FTR was not on the show. Neither was Santana Ortiz. And I don't blame them because there was no room for them. But here, honestly, that was kind of strange. Doesn't mean it was bad. It was just strange for me personally. It was one of the best matches of the show. Now, I know everyone's going to say, oh, you like the high spot, the flips and the kicks. That was part of it. The other part was that it was obvious that they had to make a choice here. The Bucks have been holding the titles for quite a while, and the Lucha Brothers were hot. They're working with Andrade El Idolo, Chavo Guerrero. They had to give those titles to the Lucha Brothers to let Chavo and Andrade have something to do. I'm sorry. It would make no sense if the Bucks retain and Andrade as well as Chavo have nothing to go after. If Andrade has this, he's going to want either the TNT title, the main title, or the tag titles. He's not getting the TNT from Miro. He's not getting it from Kenny because he isn't built well enough. So the tag titles are the only thing that he could go after. So this had to happen. Like I said in my prediction, it makes sense. Doesn't mean they were going to do it, but it made more sense for the Lucha Brothers to win. And after one point, you got the Lucha Brothers fighting, getting the mask ripped. I believe I got a shot of that. And then you see, what is it, Nick? Or was it Matt? I think it was Matt. Gets a bag thrown into the steel cage, which, Tony, why didn't you seal up the top of the cage? If you want to make sure that no one can get in, you should have sealed it up like they do in Impact Wrestling when it comes to their lockdown. You would think working with Impact he learned that. Well, they threw in a bag, and this is what's in my face. A thumbtack sneaker, which made them bleed. And here's a couple of shots of blood. In the end, the Lucha Brothers won, which I'm not surprised. They had to win, even though I thought there was a good chance they wouldn't. They had to win. What is Andrade and Chavo going to do? Who are the Lucha Brothers going to face? A lot of people. They're going to face Jurassic Express. They're going to face FTR. They're going to face a lot of people. They'll face Santana Ortiz again. But FTR is working with Santana Ortiz. Jurassic Express is dealing with the Hardy brand. It makes sense for Chavo and Andrade El Idolo to be facing them now. So this is where I believe they're going to go. And it was a good match for what it was. I'm just saying. Now, the Casino Battle Royal. Now, I thought this would go on the kickoff show buy-in, but it was not. It was number 5 on the main card, and I'm going like, really? Wouldn't it have been better to be on buy-in? Wouldn't it have been better to have buy-in, to have 2 matches instead of just advertisement? I would have done advertisement. I would have left the advertisement off the show, maybe 10 minutes of advertisement, and the rest would have been the Battle Royal as well as the 10-man tag. That would have been fine. doing 30 minutes of advertisement is damn stupid. It's a waste. You could have put 2 matches on the buy-in and let the 10-man tag have their moment, and the Battle Royal could have taken up the rest of the time, and then you would have made more room on the main card, because it was way too condensed and there was no time to breathe. You could tell that the fans were going up, 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 up. They were here, here, and then they went down here. They tried to go back up, but there was no time to breathe. So in the Battle Royal, we got Sky Blue from NWA. She got eliminated first. Then you got Kira Hogan. She got eliminated. Diamante was there. That was the one I thought that might win it. She didn't win it. Nope. We had Thunder Rosa going there. I forgot about Thunder Rosa going into the Battle Royal. And she could win it. I forgot all about it. But the person I thought that could be there, because I thought it's either going to be Peyton Royce or Billie Kay as some surprises, which I didn't think they would be there. But I truly did think, and she's in my face, Ruby Soho would be there. And there she was. She was the wild card. Everybody, by the time the countdown was nearing its end for the wild card, she was being cheered for. She was being called for. They were calling for Ruby Soho, and she came out. Now, I did not expect her to win. I wasn't sure who would be the best person to win. Jade Cargill? Anna Jade might have been the best person. Well, I didn't think Jade Cargill would be the best person, and I definitely didn't think Nia Rose. I thought maybe it would be Anna Jade of Dark Order, because I didn't think Conchi would be the best person to go up against Britt Baker. I thought maybe Anna Jade, since she's coming back. But no. At the end, you had Nia Rose, you had Thunder Rosa, and you had Soho by themselves. And Soho looked pretty good. She hadn't been wrestling for a couple of months, but she looked good. She looked fine. She looked perfectly all right. And in the end, I thought it was going to be Thunder Rosa. I did not think they'd go with Ruby Soho. I didn't think they'd go there so quickly. And she won. And that is a big... I know some people want to say, that's fine, that's great, that's wonderful. People were cheering for her, but the thing that is a lot of people going to get angry about, and I know a few of my subscribers are going to be angry, is that they're going to say, look, see, what did we tell you? What did we say, Zane? That it's going to be all WWE people first. Cool your jets. Cool your jets. Okay? I'm not telling you wrong. And I'm not telling you right either. Remember what I said in the opening of this show. That the pandemic has caused situations where a possible lockdown will happen to several states in the country again. I truly believe that she was not meant to win, but due to the fact of what's been going on nationwide, several states have been flaring back up again. They probably moved up their timetable for everything. Everything has been moved up. As I said, like, this show should have never been so heavily packed the way it was. It made no sense other than because of restrictions probably coming back again. And they wanted to get it all done before possible. All the fans will be ordered not to gather anymore again. So that's the reason I believe this happened. Okay? Now, mind you, for her to be given this moment, go up against Britt Baker, that means she has managed to do one thing that not many people understand. Ruby Riott of WWE was not as popular as Ruby Soho, who worked in Shimmer, who worked in AWA, I believe. What was it? Not AWA. I can't remember what the promotion was. AUA or AAW. I think that was the name of it. Don't quote me. I can't remember what they said. But she worked in Shimmer for years. She was well known as a very good wrestler. That is what she's remembered for. And if anyone said she's still a WWE girl, when the fuck did they use her? I'll repeat that again. You don't listen. When the fuck did she ever get used properly or at all? She spent almost a whole year and a half in the back doing freaking nothing because they wanted to push Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, who now is considered Goldberg because of what she did to a Bianca Belair. So don't tell me, because if you leave a comment saying another WWE girl, a wrestler, now gets it, Soho is a shame. No, Soho is being remembered for Shimmer and the other promotion I talked about. Not because 100% of her being from the WWE. She's remembered for that more. Because when the hell was she used? But mind you, I'm not forgetting what you're saying. She's a WWE wrestler that was released so abruptly and disrespectfully. Let's be honest. So it would make some sense that there's so much activity in social media for her to beginning to work from WWE to AEW that they took advantage of social media and used her. It makes sense. So deal with it. You don't like it? Tough titty. You got to deal with it, okay? Doesn't mean I like it or don't like it. This is what we got. Now, let's move on. Let's see. Am I forgetting anything here? Because I don't want to forget anything. There's a lot going on. Oh, I almost forgot. Moxley came out when he had the Kojima match, and I believe I got a shot of it, in a GCW sweatshirt. Dude, you know, promotions don't usually do that. They don't always let another promotion be spotlighted on any attire that a wrestler that's working for them does. So for Tony to do that, Tony Khan, because he had to sign off on that, there's no way Jon Moxley could come out in GCW sweatshirt and be allowed. Yeah, he'll do whatever he wants, but he had to pass in front of Tony at first. So that was interesting. Now, MJF versus Chris Jericho, which I felt should have not happened here. Guys, I'm gonna be honest here. I was interested in seeing how they're gonna book this. But the problem was, because of how heavily packed this was, they should have not done the MJF and Chris Jericho match here. I'm sorry. This was the wrong time to do it. Flat out wrong time. But with so much that's going on, they had no choice. But if I had my way, I would have put it on Full Gear. The next pay-per-view in November is Full Gear. I would have delayed it as long as possible. Let Chris drive MJF insane. Instead of, this is what I would have done to book it quickly. Because he wants another match, and he would have given the same stipulation that he would stop working in the ring and go on commentary. Instead of MJF saying yes, he says, no, I don't care you want this. Leave me alone. And then for the next few months, because we're in August, September, October, November, he literally harasses him every week. Or either once a week he harasses him and once a week he doesn't. You see MJF on 1 week resting, getting away from it, but then you see signs of Chris. And then about a week or two later, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he shows up, he's harassing him physically in his face, and he leaves hints every week that he's going to keep harassing him by sending him flowers or sending him someone to harass him or have someone go and bother him for the next 4 months until he finally caves in and gives the damn match to Chris Jericho. That is what I think should have happened. That's what should have happened. But due to the fact they wanted to rush it, this is what we got. Now, here's the thing. Was this a bad match? No. This was actually a very good match. Chris was doing decently well. They made sure, and this is the thing, this is why MJF is one of the best all-around wrestlers. There's a difference between being a wrestler, a pro wrestler, who can do flips, who can do submissions, who can do kicks, who can do maybe do some type of mic work, or have the ability to be able to have charisma to make his character work. MJF is an all-around great wrestler. He reminds me of Ric Flair. He reminds me of Ric Flair because he's the only one that I've seen in decades that can truly be a heel, that can work in the ring. He can lie, cheat, and steal. He can mess with you and then also wrestle and then not only tell a story while wrestling, but harass the fans, pissing them off, doing everything he can. Go like this. He's pissing everybody off while he's doing his job. And the best thing, he understands how to take a moment after he does what he does and waits for it to sink into the fans for them to get pissed off enough to boo his ass even more. Which by the time it was over, MJF was booed a lot and even kind of cheered a little bit. It was all Chris though. This was all about Chris. And then once you see Warlow come out, Hager come out, the Bat come out, and he basically loses Chris, but he had his leg on the ropes, and you can see the refs in my face. You don't see this often that you can see one ref outside consulting with the ref inside and tell her, hey, you got to reverse it because I saw his leg on the rope. And they reversed it, a restart, and Chris won. Here's the thing. Yes, it's a nice moment, and you can see the inner circle all together. And I'm curious to see where they're going to go next with them. But honestly, I would have wanted to see Chris end. Find a way to get him back. Because even though it's a stipulation that says he'll never wrestle again, stipulations can always be changed. There's always a way to change it. And they could have left it the way it was because of the cheating that MJF had done. I truly believe they should have done that. They should have let it happen that MJF cheated heavily to win. Because Chris, even though he was rough and even took from where the fans was one of those guide rails that you put the chains on, threw it at MJF at his head. That was interesting. That was interesting. But I would have liked to see that. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Now, by the time we got to CM Punk, it was getting late. But not as late as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was already past 11 by the time CM Punk. But it was like maybe 10:15, 10:20. Which shows you there was no time for pauses in this show. They just went from one match to another match, to another match, to another match. And then they went to CM Punk and Darby Allin. Now, here's where I think there was a lost opportunity. When you see the Lucha Brothers, they had a Spanish rappers coming in and doing their music. And I believe I got a shot of that. I don't know if I do. Here, why wasn't in living color there? Why wasn't in living color there? Why didn't they? The Lucha Brothers, I understand, but they could have held off on that. They didn't need that. CM Punk did. He needed in living color to perform Cult of Personality for him. Yes, that happened in WWE. Yes. But here, it makes even more sense that in living color should have been there. They should have been there. He should have been able to have them. But no, he wasn't there. And that was a lost opportunity I don't agree with. You had the Lucha Brothers have their Spanish rappers. I understand that. But that could have been saved for Full Gear. They could have done the steel cage at Full Gear. Here is where CM Punk is going to debut and actually wrestle. And they should have had in living color there. It would have been better. Yes, the crowd went ape shit for him. But it would have been better with in living color there. The match itself. Darby Allin knew how to make that match work. He is what made that match work. Now, did CM Punk do a good job? Yes. Now, admittedly, I was kind of surprised to see him in pants. Because usually he just do regular trunks. But it has been 7 years. And he decided to do the Seth Rollins thing and wear something similar to Seth Rollins and do long pants. Punk worked well with Darby Allin. He did. It didn't seem to have a problem. Sorry, guys. My camera. If you know about cameras, you get 30 minutes only. I'm past 30. CM Punk actually did a decent job Was he great in the ring? He was okay. He was good. No problem. I have no problem with CM Punk working in the ring. He didn't look bad. He didn't look sloppy. He did pretty good work. At one point, he did 2 GTSs to win. The first one, he tried to get one, well, he did more than 1 GTS. The first one he couldn't get away with because Darby Allin caught it and jumped out of the ring. The second one, when Darby Allin was flipped over, he gave it to him and it literally was enough to throw him out the ring. He literally got thrown out the ring after he received it. And then finally the third one, he did get it. Now, here's the thing. If this closed the show, this would have been an excellent pay-per-view. Yes, having what's already been done, they could have spread it out with at least a couple of minutes time, and it would have been a great show. Seeing Sting come out, seeing Sting shake the hand of CM Punk out of respect, and then shaking Darby Allin's hand out of respect, that would have been great. A wonderful ending for this show, and it should have been, but it wasn't. And we still had 2 more matches to go. We had 2 more matches, which, honestly, why? Why was Paul White and QT Marshall the second to the last for the show? Why? I'm sorry. Paul White could have been in the middle of this show as a buffer. It was only 5 minutes. It's roughly 5 or 6 minutes. It was a buffer match. And it could have been in the 4th match or the 5th match. Spread a little bit. Give people something to go down and then No. This was the second to last match of the night. Bullshit. Look, I'm not against Paul White getting a match in AEW. And subsequently, we'll have a couple of more matches. But near the end of the show, are you serious? No. He destroys Camarado. He destroys the other guy. Then he finally does what he wanted and end QT Marshall, and he wins like I said he was going to win. I didn't expect him not to win. But the second to last match of the night? No. Are you serious? No. Not going to happen. Here. Final match of the night. This match, if there was no CM Punk, should have closed the show. And that's Kenny versus Christian for the World Heavyweight Championship of AEW. Now, guys, I liked the match. It was good. It was a good damn match. Seeing Christian, I'll have a shot at this, seeing Christian, literally, Kenny throws a table on top of him, and then he jumps off the top of, he jumps off the ring skirt and on top of Christian while he's under the table was damn good. I liked it. Then throwing him through a table, that's another one. Well, no, that was Christian. He did that to Kenny. It was good. I enjoyed the entire match itself. But due to the fact of so much being crammed into the show, it felt like it was rushed. Flat out rushed. Particularly what happened in the ending. Because you got the Good Brothers coming out to try and help Kenny. You see Don Callis calling out the Good Brothers. They're trying to do everything they can to help Kenny. And in the end, Kenny did win and retain. And then start beating up on Christian, trying to destroy Christian. Jurassic Express comes out. They get destroyed. And then you get Kenny on the mic. And you see him in my face. And he says, look, I know you guys ain't happy. I'm glad you ain't happy. And you want to see someone come and wipe me out, to wipe the floor with me? Well, guess what? There's 3 problems with that. 1, there's no one in the company that's like that. 2, there's no one out there that can do it. And 3, if there was anybody out there, they're not here. And the other one, they're dead. So that's it. And then he's in my face. Adam Cole comes out. People screamed their freaking heads off. They were still pretty excited about what happened at the end of the match. They were angry but also excited. But once Adam Cole came out, they exploded. They were loud as hell. He comes to the ring, does his Adam Cole, baby, and then super kicks Jungle Boy in the face. And Kenny says it best. He said, what? Oh, well, what did he say? From Family Matters with Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Yes, I did. You think this guy isn't our friend? He is not going to turn on us. There's no one that can. And everyone was mad until a little bit of I forgot the name of Daniel Bryan's music. Well, Bryan Danielson's Flight of Valkyries. There you go. A small little piece of the Flight of the Valkyrie with a new beat. And he comes out and everyone exploded again. Incredibly loud. He helps up Jungle Boy. He helps up Luchasaurus. He stands toe to toe against the Elite with Christian. Let me give it to you like this. It was a good closing. A great closing to the damn show. Does this move the needle? Yes. But if you're going to see the pay-per-view for what it is, see the pay-per-view for what it is. It moves the needle, but due to the fact of what's going on with the pandemic possibly shutting everything down again, because several states are having bad breakouts of the Delta variant, a huge amount of stuff that should have gone across 2 pay-per-views, which is All Out and Full Gear, have been condensed to 1. We should have only got 6 matches. And it shouldn't have been condensed so tightly. That's what we should have gotten. We didn't get that here. We have a whole bunch of show crammed in that should have been 2 shows. And I'm just saying, this was a B show. Not because it was bad quality. Look, the matches were fine. Many matches, there are going to be a lot of regular fans are going to be going crazy over. Seeing Bryan Danielson, seeing Adam Cole, seeing CM Punk blows everybody's mind. They're happy now. They got 3 people who have been well known in the independent scene that's there now. I'm not going to lie to you. If you see the show for what it is, this pay-per-view for what it is, it's a B pay-per-view. The pacing was completely off. There was no time to breathe. There was so much crammed into it. You had no time to absorb anything. And that was a major problem, which brings it from easily an A to a B. Now, mind you, you're not going to agree with me, the ones who think this was an incredible show, but I'm not going to lie to you. This is a B show. Not because of the match quality or the people who appeared on it, but it was because they're trying to squeeze in too much. They tried to squeeze in 2 shows at once because of the possible shutdowns that could be happening in the next couple of weeks or a couple of months from now. That is the reason why they did this. Remember, you heard the rumors that Daniel Bryan was supposed to be seen later. They moved it up because of COVID issues, because of COVID concerns, because they think that several states are going to shut down again and then there'll be no fans. And they don't want Adam Cole not to have fans. It's not like they don't want CM Punk to have fans and not to have Bryan Danielson to have fans. They had no choice but to do it. So you got to be honest. This is a B show because of them cramming too much into it. But this is just my point of view, and I hope you enjoyed the Zane's view. Please give me a comment below, and I hope you like it. I don't know what I'm going to do for my Gump Report because it'll be Monday. But you guys tell me. Leave a comment below. Have a good day. Actually, I might skip the Gump Report for this week because there's stuff I want to do. Peace.